Hello everyone, welcome to another tutorial. My name is William. In today's tutorial we are going to look at how to implement live search or search with autocomplete using Laravel and Vue.js. I ask that if you have not subscribed to this channel that you may subscribe, and that you can also give this video a thumbs up if you find it a nice video. Now I would like us to go ahead and first thing I want us to do is to look at our application. This is a fresh install of Laravel, and we are also running the application already in our server, and then I also want us to ensure that we are running XAMPP. That is because we will be fetching the records from the database and then being in a position to search them. So we are running that, and now I will go to resources. Since I'm interested in using bootstrap, so I will maybe make some changes. And remember, this version of Laravel that we are using is Laravel 10. So I will click on views, and we have this page called welcome.play.php. I think I will remove everything here, and we're just going to have HTML5 scaffolding. So in this case, the title of our document, we are going to call it live search. Just a minute. Again, we are going to call it live search. And since I'm using Bootstrap, I will go and copy some CSS link from the Bootstrap page. And I think this is what we need, the whole of it. And we will paste it here. Let me see if we have copied everything the way it's supposed to be. Yes, I think we have copied the line perfectly, properly, the way we are supposed to. And I think that will be it to begin with. I will also add Axios and Vue.js. So I will copy the CDN link for Vue.js and paste it here. And I will also copy the Axios CDN link and also paste here like that. The next thing that I want us to do is to go ahead and create some data in our body. So we are going to have a container. So I'm going to have div, and in this case with a class of container. As it is within the scope of this tutorial, I will not concentrate very much on styling. We're just going to go ahead and do directly whatever it is that we are required to do. So then I will go to Bootstrap and check the forms. So I will go under forms overview, and I will pick this form here, just the first one. But I will not pick everything. I just pick one input with the form, because we only need a search bar. So in this case we have it like that, and then I will close the tag form that way. After that, I also want to have a card, actually two cards. And let me just put them in there. So I will look for Bootstrap card. I will actually take two of them. So I paste the card twice. So we are going to get maybe a card that spans the whole width. Maybe this one here. And then I will paste it here. I paste it here. So it is our first card and our second card, like that. After that, I also would want to go ahead and instantiate our Vue application. So in this case, where we have body, I will put an ID of app. So div ID app. So ID is app, and then here we are going to have the script tag before the end of body. Before the end of body, we will have a script tag here, and then it is where we will have our Vue code. So let me just say script, like that. And here we are going to create an app. So const create app, and our app is a Vue application. And then after that, now we are going to have it that way. After that, we are going to have several properties. So in this case, we will have data, and the data property is supposed to return. So you have it like that, and then we are going to have methods. We are also going to have a watcher, which will be watching our results as they change. So you have watch. And then finally we will have mounted. And this one I'm going to use to see if our Vue application is running properly. The next thing that I want us to do is where we have the input. So in this case, we are going to say input is a text, and then we are going to have vModel, and then here we are going to call it search query. I can remove the ID and every other thing that is this other side, and also this div that we're having there, I can remove it. And then so when we have our search query, we will also declare it in our return, in our data property. So here we are going to say search query, and we are going to set it to null, like that. After that, whenever a user types in information in this search query, we will modify this information that is typed in this watcher here. So here we are going to have our search query again, and we are going to pass in after and before. So it will be watching for changes in our search query, and as it watches for changes, then we are going to call the get results method. So we are going to call a method that you get for us the results. So in this case, I can say this dot get results. In this case, it will be the method that you be doing the API call to get us the users in this case. So this dot get results. So I want us to create that method here. So we can say get results under methods. So get results, and then we're going to have it like that. And we will be making an API call to a route on the web.php which we will call users. So I'm going to write here axios.get users, and then we are going to also have our search query appended here. So I'm going to just have this dot search query like that, this dot search query. Then we can have dot then the response. We are going to save it in a variable called res or s, and in this case we are going to say this dot results. So we are introducing another property that we are going to put in the data, which we are calling results, will be res.data. So the data that we get after making this request, we are going to save it as a result. So I'm going to have results here, results, and we are going to set it as an array like that. And then maybe we can be able to catch errors. So dot catch, in this case if we have any error, console log the error. So we will have it like that, even though maybe we will not the scope of whatever it is I want us to do, we will not be able to process the errors any further, but I just want us to fetch the results, and then out of whatever it is that is being live searched, then choose a value, and then this value is displayed, just that. So then we have been able to get the results, and I want us to go back to our search query where we have the first model, because here we have the model as search query, and the label here maybe we can say search user like that. And then we in this card, the first card that we are having is where we will be showing the suggestions from whatever it is that is being searched. So here I'm going to just loop through whatever it is that we have in the results. Here the results that we will be getting, we have not been able to process things on the Laravel side, but we can finish everything here, and then we go and process on the Laravel sort of backend, and then we see if we can be able to get the results. So just allow me to do something here. So in this card we are going to check if the results variable here has anything inside. So I'm just going to check in the following manner. So we are going to say if. So we are going to view this card if results dot length. So in this case we are just checking if there are any results that have been returned from the server. So if there are any results from the server, then we want to show this card, and then after that we can be able to loop through whatever results we are getting using a v4 directive. So v4, in this case we are going to have it this way. We can have it like this. We can say result, that is a single result, index in results. So we are looping through and we are getting each results, and then for each result we are displaying. So in this case we can go ahead and display here, and I want to just have a paragraph tag like that. And so here we are going to display the result name. So result dot name. So in other words, the name of the person, of the user that we'll be getting in the database, and we can be able to start it with the @ symbol for us to be able to differentiate the Vue.js variables from the Laravel blade. Otherwise, you expect this to be a Laravel blade variable, and then at the end of everything it will throw an error. And then I want, if possible, if we are displaying the results, I want one can be able to click on one of the results. So if they are being displayed in a list like this, you can be able to click on one and be able to now get the details of that user. So I want us to just put something here. We are going to say if we click, so at click, then we are going to have a method which we are going to call selected item, and in this case we are going to pass in the ID. So in this case result dot ID, so the ID of that selected item. So once we are able to pass in that one, we can be able now to get the details of that specific user. So we will have it like that, and if everything is fine, then let us go and also work on this method. And then after that, once we are done with everything on the front end, we can go and look at what we can be able to do at the back end, or in other words at the Laravel sort of end, even though this one is still blade. So now I want us to just work on that method that we have called selected item. So we are going to have it under methods, not watchers. So we are going to have it under methods. So we put a comma here and have that method here. So we are calling it selected item like that. And inside here, let me just say whatever it is that we are expecting is an ID, because we are passing it from this event here, whereby we are saying if the result name is clicked, then we are passing in the result ID. So we will have it like that, and then we can also make an API call. So axios.get. In this case, now for this other one where we were working with the first one, we were looking at users. This other one, I want to just say we are getting a specific user. So user singular, and then apart from that, we are also passing in the ID of the user like that. So after that, after we have that, then we can say dot then we can say also store it in a variable called res. It's just short form for response, and we are going to do several things here. I want us to now have a variable called user. So in this case, we can have it here. So we have result, we have search query. I want us also to have user like that, and then we will set it to, maybe let us take it also as an array, or maybe as an object like that. And then after that, we will save this user that we are getting from this response. So we're going to say this dot user is the response that we are getting from the Laravel end. Then we can also catch errors. So dot catch error, and we can set this one in this manner, and we can say console log. The error in this case. After that, I want to just do one last thing, because I want to just show what we have done up until where we are. So we have our file in this case, and we have everything displayed there. I want us to just also do something for this last card. I want to hide it until when we have user data, such that we can be able to show this one maybe with the details of the user. So let us work on that, even though I can see there is also something else, but let us first of all work on this and then see how we can be able to sort that one out. So result.name, that one is okay. I want us to do something about this last card, and I want us to show it conditionally. We will only show it if we have the data of the user presented here. If we have fetched the user and there is data in this variable here, we can be able to show the user. So here, to do that, I'm going to use a directive called vshow, and I'm going to just say user details. So after that, if we can go down here and have another thing which we're going to call user details, like that, and this one I'm going to set to false. What does this mean? It means that now if we are to refresh this page again, this card, we do not expect it to be shown. Why is it being shown? It seems we have a problem somewhere. Let me just check it out. I'm having it that view is not defined, and I think probably is because I have typed it like that. So let me try again and refresh, because I checked the console and I found out that it was saying that view is not defined. So again, now it's saying we are running a build. That one is okay. I do not know why it is displaying this one like this. Let me just check that one also. As you can see, I have written result singular. We had not mounted our application here, and I think it's one of the reasons why we have had issues. So we had declared app, but we had not mounted it. So hash app, like that. So I want to try again, because I was finding that there was a problem, and I've been checking. Now it's okay, because I had set here that we be informed if Vue is working properly, that it alerts us Vue, and that is what has happened. So where we were actually, we were looking at hiding the card for the results, in this case for user details, and we had put it as false, and even the other one is now not being displayed, which is very good, because we are only supposed to have the display of such user. So I want us to do something on this card, the card that we will be using now to display the final details of our user. So this card will be shown depending on whether it is set, the user details value is set as true or false here. So if we set it as true, we are going to have a card showing up here, but then it has no data. So this one here, so it will show. So we expect after we have searched our user and we have chosen and the user details have been pulled in, we are supposed to display them in this card here. So let me return it to where it was as false, and then we go to this card, and I want us to just put in here the user details. And so we are going to have several paragraphs. So you have a paragraph tag, and here we are going to have, we proceed with the @ symbol, and then here I'm going to put the user.id, and then the others I will copy and paste the same. So we will paste and paste again, and then we will have username, and then we will have user email, like that. So after that, I think if everything is fine here, we are good. I want us to go to routes.php, routes.web.php, the routes folder, and then the routes file, web.php. And I want us to create 2 routes, but we'll be using the user model, so I would like to pull the user model. So we're going to say use app models user, and these you can also be able to do it in the controller function. So this one I'm just doing it here because the only thing that we're interested is just pulling the users. And so we are going to have 2 methods. I'm going to have a method, a get method, so a get route get, and in this case we are going to have users, so users, and then we are going to pass in a query. So in this case that thing that you would have typed in there. So we are going to have function, and then inside this function we are going to get the user. So in this case store it in a variable called user, and we are going to get the user via eloquent, and then we are going to say where, and in this case we are checking the name, and we are interested in the name column and maybe the ID column. So because we are searching, we are going to say name like, and then we will have the sign, and then concatenate our query. So in this case query, and then again something similar to that way. And then what it is that we want to pluck from all our user table, we are just going to get, but we do not want everything to be fetched. We want the ID. You can be able to specify like that, and we also want the name, like that, those 2. And then here we are supposed to pass in that query variable, like that. And then we are also going to return the users. So in this case I'm going to say return response user, like that, and save. And then we are also going to have another method, another route, which is a get route, and we are going to have now user singular, and whatever it is that you have in front of this is ID. We are also going to have it in a similar manner, so you have a function, and here we are going to pass in the ID, so you save it in a variable ID, whatever it is that you're passing in there, and then you have it like that. Then we are going to say, because it's just one user that we are getting in this case, we are just going to say user model find or fail, and then we are passing in the ID of the user that we want. Even this one we are going to say return response user, like that. So let me just copy this, return response user, and save. After that, the other thing that it's important for me to mention is that the user table, in our user table we do not have anything. So I would like to, because XAMPP is running and everything is fine with that, I would like to go to user factory. So you go to database, factories, user factory. This one ships in with the application, so you don't have to create it, and so everything is fine here. I want us to go to the seeders, database seeder, and I want to uncomment whatever it is that we have here. I want us to create some users in our database, so let me put 2000 users, fake users. And then after that, the next thing that I want us to do is to seed our database with the users. But in this case, our database is called Laravel, and there is a page, database table or tables that we are calling Laravel in our application. So if you do not have, maybe you can create, but ensure that XAMPP and in this case Apache and MySQL are running. So in this case for me, I'm going to say PHP artisan migrate fresh I have a table called Laravel in my database. As you can see in our env, we also have it set to Laravel. There is a table that is supposed to be called Laravel. So since my application has a table like that, let me just drop all the tables and migrate them again. And then the next thing that I'm going to write is PHP artisan db seed to seed our database with the users. So our users are being populated in our database, and now and I think that process is done. So if we go to localhost phpMyAdmin, we can be able to see that we have 2000 users that have been created in our database. So as yes, it's opened. So we have a database called Laravel, and inside here you can see we have 2000 users, and those are the ones that we are going to work with in our live search. So let me open this one, and we will attempt and see if things are going to work the way we want. So I'm going to type in a name here, a name that begins with FR, and as you can see we're having an error. It says the root user could not be found, so meaning there is an error in how we did something on the blade file, because it's just appending whatever it is that we are typing in directly. So it's supposed to be users, and then we have it like that. And also these other one, let us also check. Yes, the other one is okay. So users and then /. So let us try to search again. So let me type the same thing. We see if there's anybody who will be found with that. Oh, I have to refresh the page. Yes, so let us try again. Yes, as you can see, it is fetching in users that their names are seemingly similar in a way to whatever it is that you're typing. So if we type FREE, we have Frida Heli and we have Freeman Sipes. If I click on one of them, the user model is actually being queried. The second URL is being queried and we are getting the data, but it is not displaying. There is something that I have not done. I need also to remove this data here such that I can be able to show whatever else that we need. Anyway, the reason why we are not showing the user that we are getting now is because of two things. Our user details is set to false. So in other words, this card is not showing. This card is not showing at all. Not the second one. This one is not showing at all because we are not setting it to true. And then another thing, we are also supposed to unset the values on these results. So for us to be able to show one user, as much as we are getting the user data, I also want us to say this dot results. We are going to set it to an empty array. After that, also we are going to say this dot what is the name of the variable? User details. User details. We are going to set it to true, like that. So if everything is fine, now it will work. So we are going to refresh again, and now let us search. So we have Frederick Smichel, and as you can see, it's being displayed. 88 is the ID, Fred Smichel is the name, and this one is the email. Maybe I can go back to the place where we have those things and just specify which is which. So here I can say ID, user ID, full colon, and then we have user name, full colon, like that, and then finally we have user email, like that. So again, when we refresh and search another user, so maybe a name that begins with G R A, as you can see, or maybe that has anything of that sort. Let us also add C, as you can see, and then E. We can the list is changing slowly by slowly. So we have the users whose names are Grace. So if I click on this first one, we have that their ID is 609 in the database, and the name, and then their email. I think our tutorial is successfully over. Thank you very much for following up until now. I ask that you please subscribe, that you may comment, and that you may also share this video, and such that we can be able to even create more. Thank you very much.